What it do, y'all? It's Jovan Landry, the 1/3 filmmaker, 1/3 photographer, 1/3 MC. Today we're going to be breaking down the beat and the lyrics to my song Go Nuts featuring Nolan, which is off of my EP Intellectual Frequencies. Produced by yours truly. And originally this track was supposed to be a single, just a standalone single. Earlier 2023, I wanted to just release some singles just to keep a buzz going, around my name and, just to be consistent. And then by the time I drop an EP, I would have like, I have like a little buzz going. But at this time, I was kind of, falling behind a little bit. And I was like, I'll just keep this tucked in back. On the other end, I always wanted to do a track with Nolan. I've been following Nolan probably at least since 2016, I would say. I don't know how I found him, but been following him through social media and just seeing his growth over time, becoming a content creator, music entrepreneur, writing his own books, and just an amazing MC and lyricist. He was definitely someone that I had on my bucket list to work with. So originally I had a beat in mind for him, but unfortunately with producer, having issues with that, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna make my own beat. I'm gonna just find something else. And even Nolan mentioned that too, like, I don't mind spending on your stuff because, your stuff is cool, So I'm like, okay. So fast forward and coming back to this track, I was like, Go Nuts would actually be a really dope track for him to be on. I can really hear him on this. So I sent him the track and he was digging it. And I would say within weeks of me sending over the track to him, he sent me the track, gave me all the stems and everything, and we put the song together. So I made the beat. And at the time when I made the beat, which was around February 2020, I just called it Go Nuts because I felt like it just got that bounce. It just felt like I want to go crazy on this beat. This beat just go hard. Like, it's simple, but it just stumpy. I don't know. Like, it's just that kind of beat. So I never came up with a title, like an official title for this song, but I feel like it kind of works, with what we're talking about. So it ended up just staying Go Nuts. So, obviously as I wanted to add on, Nolan, I had to extend the track out. I think what makes this song special is that Nolan doesn't start right on top of the 16-bar verse. He actually raps for 12 bars. And I wanted it to be kind of like a back and forth with us. So I think that's something that kind of stands out with the song. The beat slows down halftime at the end, kind of like a chopped and screwed type of feel. And I will say that I did structure the beat around Nolan's verse. When I gave him the beat, it was one thing, but then as I, heard his verse and he like put a break in between his verse, I was like, okay, I like that. Okay, how do I add on to it? Because he's rapping fast, and I think that's just what a good quality. This is what makes a good quality producer. It's when they can listen to the artist after they, spit their verse, and they can shape the beat around the artist. It just kind of like, feeds off of the artist, So I felt, like a proud producer moment. So I start out the track saying, hold up, let me finish. Hold up, let me finish, all that stuff. It's just initially what I heard when I first rediscover the beat like a year later, like, oh, hold up, let me finish. Here it go. Hold up, let me. And I don't know, it also kind of reminded me of Timbaland. Like when Timbaland used to just introduce his songs back in the day, like in the 90s, and just be talking and, you know, having in that little telephone filter. And, you know, I would definitely say I was inspired by him. Let's build it up. Let's just vibe out, you know? I know sometimes with music nowadays, we just go right into it, or, you know, like, let's just create a little, you know, let's just fill it out a little bit. Shim shimma, never dimmer. Watch me pass as I glimmer glimmers, getting hotter, no simmer. Inspired by Sim Simma. Who got the keys to my bima? Who am I? Again, this is what I'm hearing and what I'm feeling. Usually when I'm writing songs, I don't always be like, I don't like that. Let me start over. Like, no, let me try to work with it and just see what comes out of it, you know? Shim, like you're shimmering, you're glowing. Shim shimma, never dimmer. Like saying like, I'm not dimming my light. I'm never dim, like I'm always bright. Watch me pass as I glimmer glimmer. So watch me pass. So I'm already just coming in like, look at me and look at my light. See me walk by. I'm never dimming my light. It's getting hotter, no simmer. So, you know, I'm not getting cold. Like I'm keeping the heat up. And as you're going to hear in the chorus, you know, it kind of relates to that section too. So obviously, if you know what simmer is, that's, you know, when you're cooking and you put the heat down low. No, my heat is on high. I could be in my lane while still change lanes and camouflage before your eyes and then still look the same. It's crazy because like I'm an interdisciplinary artist, but I also have these many lanes such as the filmmaking, photography, emceeing, all the things that I do. It's like that is its own lane, but at the same time, I'm in other different like sectors of like the artistry. Because only when you go against the grain is when you're seen insane. Whenever you're going against the grain of what is traditional or what is acceptable, you're always going to be seen as crazy. But those are the geniuses of the world. Just take a whiff of me, begin to see I'm built significantly differently. I know that I am someone that's different, and I embrace being different as an artist, as a woman. Just how I show up in the world is not your average. That is a beautiful thing, to be different, to not be like anybody else. That should be honored. You know it's inevitable, so verily variable, so cherishable. Never know what you'll never know, for your ears making these sonics so pleasurable. Is the end of that first verse. So basically it's just, you know, kind of playing off the words. So verily variable. It is definitely known that, you know, I'm different. The song is different. The vibe is different. So cherishable, you know, just cherish, like, you know, I'm cherishing the moment. I'm cherishing, you know, being different. You never know what you never know, you know, obviously self-explanatory, you know, get to know and then you will know. For your ears making these sonics so pleasurable, you know, it's just like, I feel like this song is just so good, you know, and, you know, pleasing to the ear. Turning up the heat as high as the beat go. Yearning that my fears blown out of the window. I am going strictly off of the first thing that's coming to mind, you know. So I already knew that I wanted to do like na 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 high as the beat go. So I gotta feed into that. I gotta fit the words that go into that that melody. So I just said, turning up the heat as high as the beat goes, because the song is hot. And like I said earlier in the verse, you know, it's getting hotter, no simmer. And then yearning that my fears blown out of the window. When you have a fear of something, when you have a fear to step out and be different, you know, you can't be your full self. So if I can just throw that out the window, and even thinking about when I hear this song, I definitely think about riding in the car at night, you know, top down or windows down, sunroof open, you know, you just blowing, your hair blowing through the wind. And I'm just out here just like, you know, I like freedom, like just thinking about freedom and thinking about just going down Lakeshore Drive in Chicago, you know, just fast and just like, you know, just enjoying life. Then you go into the top of the second verse. I'm only doing 4 bars here. J Nolan's gonna take the rest. As they reaching for that mass appeal, gonna reach for the bell. You could tell I spit well, that I spell at the facts in its own for real. So as they reaching for the mass appeal, it's like saying as they reaching for, you know, popularity, or they're reaching for, you know, what people think is cool. I'm gonna reach for the bell because I'm thinking about like in gym class, right? At least back in the day, in my time, we used to have to climb the ropes in gym and like hit the bell. It's like when you're going towards what's cool, that's kind of the easy route. But when you're going up this rope, like you're really putting in the work in to actually get up to that bell. You can tell I spit well, that I spell at the facts in its own for real. Self-explanatory. Hear me when I say I got the words in the play on the words like it's on the bill. Hear me when I say I got the words in the play like I got a play on words. But then I'm also like referencing like a play. Like if you get a brochure, when you go to a play or to a musical, it's called a bill. And it's obviously words on the bill. Fun fact, I was on the stage crew in high school. It's also kind of like a head nod to like, you know, something that I do have experience in and have relation to when I say, you know, a playbill. I instill, have the balls on your pen come again when you have game on your skill. J Nolan, he's an author. He has 2 books called The Pen Game Portfolio. That's what I'm saying. Like when you're writing, as you see, ballpoint pen, I instill that you stay on the balls of your pen when you have game on your skill. Is like saying stay on top of your pen game, like J Nolan's Pen Game Portfolio. And that also helps kind of seal it into what J Nolan is going to say next. Well, I wouldn't say it seals it in, but it just like like what I'm saying correlates with the artist that's coming next, if that makes sense. So take it away, J Nolan.
What up, y'all? It's the kid J Nolan here. Shout out to Jovan for getting me on this song, Go Nuts. Hey, so I open up my verse and I say, antibiotic to the boy too ill. Tell me why you think I ain't got no deal. Now, when you're sick, of course, you need antibiotics because you're too sick. But tell me why you think I ain't got no deal. So a lot of people, they question, they say, why ain't you signed? You know, why are you not on the radio? Why aren't you doing these tours with these major artists? Why aren't you on the Rolling Louds, the South by Southwest? And it's like, tell me why you think I ain't got no deal. I've been authentic from the jump, you know? So I've been keeping it real. I've been real honest. I've been very candid about how I feel about the industry. And I'm quite sure, because I know I got people in the industry that follow me. Sometimes my perspectives may go against the grain. But I say, I've been authentic from the jump. I keep it honest with the findings, only speak on what I want. You know, so I only speak about what's real to me. And if I don't feel like something is real, or if I don't feel like something is legit, I'm going to counter it, you know? I break down a lot of different stuff in the industry if you go on my YouTube channel. So sometimes I think it can work as a double-edged sword for me. Like I get love because I'm honest and I'm real, I'm authentic, and my heart is with the people. But at the same time, it can hinder me a little bit because being too honest, people don't really like that all the time. I went hand in hand with my product like Luda from out the trunk. So when rappers talk about bread, I proceed to eat them for lunch. Now, for those of y'all that don't really know about the Ludacris story, if you're involved in hip hop, if you love the culture, you should be a little bit familiar. But I'm gonna give y'all a quick little history lesson. So Luda is from Illinois, somewhere close to Chicago. I think early in his life, he moved to Atlanta. After he graduated from school, he went to go work at the local hip hop radio station out here in Atlanta, which at the time was 97.5, which is now known as Hot 107.9, right? During that time, he did an album called Incognito, where he did an independent album. He sold it out the trunk of his car. He sold it at the radio station. He sold it at events. He went around, you know, where he could get New Orleans, Houston, all these little places, and he was just selling his music out of his trunk. And that's what ended up ultimately getting him that deal with Def Jam so that he could come out with his album Back for the First Time. So a lot of the music that was on Back for the First Time was repackaged from the Incognito album. So I basically drew a parallel to myself because in my time coming up as an artist, I've passed out flyers, CDs, pins that you could put on your clothes and your hats. I've given out thumb drives with my music on it. I've done all types of shows and showcases. I've gone to different festivals. I've gone all over the place with my music hand to hand in person. I got a nice presence online, but I've also put in my footwork in real life. So then the next line is like, so when rappers talk about bread, I proceed to eat them for lunch, because it's like, there's so many different remnants that you can go through in this music industry in order to get yourself planted, get your feet planted firmly. But I feel like there's so many artists that think they dope, that be talking about bread and money in they bars, they be talking about all this gang stuff. But when I look at them, I don't really see the activity that they talking about, and I don't really see the grind and the footwork that they be talking about in them lyrics. So it's like, hey, I don't judge y'all, I don't look down on y'all, but I'm gonna keep kicking y'all ass on this mic. It ain't no rivalries. Y'all ain't hot as me, I'm fine as pottery, so that goes with the previous line. It ain't no rivalries, you know what I'm saying? Because y'all not really on this level, you know what I mean? It's not a competition, it's not about who got the most money or nothing like that. We just talking about skill, ambition, and drive. When you go to those three categories, I don't see too many people outworking me. Sonically moving silently, finally, mama proud of me. So with the sonically moving silently, that's just a bar, you know what I mean? But finally, mama proud of me. My mother is very camera shy. I haven't shown her off on social media or anything like that, but she's very hard to impress. She's very even keel, very balanced. And she always wanted me to like go to school, get my education, perhaps pursue other careers outside of music. But for me, I was always very headstrong. I knew since I was probably like 12, 13 years old that this is what I wanted to do. So it took a while before she actually started to understand the vision. It wasn't until I started getting hella TV placements. It wasn't really till I got my song on Lizzo's Watch Out for the Big Girls, which was a show that she actually enjoyed watching. And I was able to tell her, hey, I'm on that show, And she's like, oh, okay. So it's not just me on random shows no more. It's actually something that she cared to watch. And I'm actually in that with a couple of my songs on a couple of different episodes. It definitely started to click. So finally, mama proud of me, right? I live on a pedestal, represent incredible lyrics, impeccable weight. So at that point, I'm starting to go crazy. I'm starting to go nuts. Pause. You know what I'm saying? Speeding up the flow, showing people my syncopation, because I could do that twister, I could do that Bone Thugs flow, I could do that Tech 9 flow. I don't show it off all the time, but that's something that's in my skill set, in my toolkit that I've been developing since I was in high school. So, on the song Chicago, yeah, I'm gonna hit him with that Go-Go Gadget flow. I eat that boy Lupe. And I say, wait, it's like, oh, hold up. But then I come back and it's like, nah, I'm not waiting. Get up and get it. I cannot be timid. I live it. I do what they never do, right? So you get up and get it. You can't be timid. I live this. I do what they never do. So it ties into everything that I've been saying thus far in the verse, talking about my grind. I'm a very chill person. I can be timid at times, very easygoing, but in this industry, you can't be like that. You got to go out and get it. You got to meet people. You got to be networking. You got to go to the events. You got to talk to people. You got to articulate yourself in a certain way for people to respect you as an equal, right? So those are the things that I try to present as an artist, as an entrepreneur. I call myself more of a music entrepreneur today than an artist, but I'm running an artist business. I can't argue from the sidelines, focused on my timeline. So a lot of people know that I post stuff on YouTube. I break down a lot of different scenarios. I talk about stuff in popular culture, but that's not my primary focus, right? That's just like supplemental income, and that's another way of branding myself. But I'm not focused on arguing from the sidelines. I'm focused on my timeline. I'm looking for success. I have my own goals. I have my own milestones to reach. So I'm focused on those things. Ready for the lead, dominating at the combine, going for the green, my chain golden in prime time. So for those of y'all that are not really into sports, leading up to the draft, they have this thing called the combine, where you show up at this training facility, you do all of these different tests and assessments so that they can see how good you are, how fast you are, how high you could jump. They compare you against the competition, and then teams will evaluate who they actually want to take depending on their position within the draft. So I'm really pulling all of that together to show that I'm dominating my space in this game. And just like Deion Sanders, when he went to the draft combine, he showed up with like a bunch of gold chains on. He hopped out the limo. He went inside. He was a little bit late. He went and ran his 40, which was like the fastest time ever or something like that. He put his chains back on, jumped out his pads, and jumped back in the limo and left. And all the other players was there trying to impress all the coaches and, all of the assistants and all of them. Deion left. Right? So I'm kind of equivocating myself to that type of vibe. Like I show up, I do what I do, and I get the you feel me? So that's where I'm at with it. By the time I leave, I'm going straight for the top 5. So whoever you got, the Kendricks, the Coles, the Drakes, the Jids, whoever's in your top 5, put my music up against theirs. Put me bar for bar, side by side with them. You know what I'm saying? And y'all gonna see the gap is not that far. I'm right there with them. Sometimes I think I exceed all of them. You feel me? Now, That's me as an artist. That's me, of course, advocating for myself. But as a spectator from the outside looking in, if you just play it, you'll see it for yourself. And then the last line is essential as iodine. Now, iodine is an essential element. It's one of those things where you got to have balance. If you don't have enough iodine in your system, you can get sick. If you have too much iodine in your system, you can also get sick. It can lead to high blood pressure, diabetes, all these different things. So it's something that you have to watch in moderation because you can get it from salt intake and stuff like that. But not trying to give y'all a science lesson, but that's the breakdown of my verse on here, man. Shout out to Jovan. Thank you for having me on this song, Go Nuts. We definitely did that on the song. Can't wait to see where this project leads you. And I thank you for having me on it. Much love, respect. J Nolan signing out. Let's get it.
Thank you, J Nolan. I just want to tell you that I appreciate you. I appreciate your artistry and your craft. As a content creator, as an artist, as a music entrepreneur, you're someone that I definitely look up to and someone that I'm inspired by. And I'm so glad that you were able to grace the track. He killed it, y'all. He killed it. Just so amazing. We definitely, vibe off each other well, considering that we never met. We didn't do this song in person with each other. We just was doing it virtually, and the song came out amazing. Then we have the end of the verse where I close out and I just say, the beat goes on, and push the pedal to the metal because the streets move on. The beat goes on, and the beat goes on, and the beat goes on. You got to stay relevant. You got to stay consistent in things that you are doing. And I guess it's not just a music thing. It can be whatever that you're doing. But if you're not consistent, you will be forgotten about. And so it's just to say, just keep going, keep pushing harder. Stay afloat in what you're doing. So that way you're not forgotten about. And while you're over here scrambling for the cheat code, you're never really in the game you're playing. I'm just saying that y'all giving me them free throws. It's kind of like a video game reference, at least back in the day when used to play video games. I used to look online for the cheat codes for the games and, have fun, all that. But like when you think about it from a life perspective, you're thinking about it from an artist perspective. It's like, if you're just cheating your way through it all, you're really giving the people that's doing the work more leverage to win. If you're going the fast and easy route of things, it's not going to last, It's truly very lethal to say that you're the fico and you matter to the planet when you're causing her to vanish. I feel like that's giving like an earth, someone that cares about an earth reference. But it's deadly to say that you're the shit. If you don't care about the world, you don't care about the earth, you don't care about life. Now leave it to the people who strong and never feeble, who truly want to equal because we pushing the needle. Like, give the people that are truly deserving of these opportunities to elevate the planet, to elevate the world and society. If you like this breakdown, I encourage you to go listen to Go Nuts from the Intellectual Frequencies EP. Out now. You can stream it everywhere, or you can get the songs directly at jovanlandry.com/merch and support a girl.